Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome everybody. It's Christ169 coming to you live, Power Spectrum Internet. I'm here. You're there. Let's get on to it. See you guys later. Bye. No, all right, then I'm gonna leave. Today's video is pretty much I got some messages from some people out there on my phone. Once again, I'll leave you guys nameless because some of you guys may not want to be named, and that's cool. I understand it. Sometimes you don't want to be named. Um, and that's cool. Some of you guys will ask questions in my comment section. That's when I'll name you. But if you ask questions privately, I assume you want to be private, so I don't sit there and try to do stuff like that. Um, that's not how I do things. So I'm not gonna say, oh my God, this John says this, or Buck says this, or Ralph says that. I don't do that kind of stuff. So message me on Facebook Messenger about your questions about gaming in general. This question came from is saying, okay, here we go. I got it right here. It says, all right, here you go. Bring it right here. Okay, we got here. Do you still believe 8 gigabytes of VRAM is still feasible? If so, why is everyone backlashing against it? Or is 8 gigabytes not worth our time? I can understand what person was going with this. What person was saying was, and I can understand a lot of people when they say stuff. A lot of people, everybody has a different way of saying stuff. The vocabulary for me and you may be different. Person was saying was, is 8 gigabytes still feasible, or still usable in 2025? And if so, why is hate surrounding it that people can't understand? Listen, guys, the comments I get from people are all different people. You know, I also post on Facebook pages. So that's why I don't give a name to a lot of people because they may not know my channel exists. So thank you for who that person was. I thank the person who it was. So I'll thank for the comment, and I'll make a video on it. And I gave the person my name so you can come watch this video or my live stream, my channel, and that way a person can actually live stream and watch my videos and participate in live stream stuff. Because many person wants to know more stuff about this stuff, but it doesn't. But the question was, to make it simple, keep it simple, stupid, keep it simple, stupid, is is 8 gigabytes of VRAM still feasible in 2025? Yes and no. And that's pretty much a dumb thing to say, but yes, it's feasible, but no, it's not at the same time. It's not a double, no, it's not a double ton, no entendre. It's not, in tongue to cheek kind of thing. It's being very serious. Okay. You can make it work on certain games. You can play a lot older games, 1080p, that's fine. If you're gonna play older games like your Arkham Knights, Battlefield 2042s, older online games, older story games, you should be fine, no problem. But you should start breaking out the Spider-Man 2s, the Battlefield 2040, Battlefield 6s, the game called 33, I can't remember what it's called. Arc Raiders. A lot of games like that of that nature require, even 8 gigabytes. They still require VRAM to play. VRAM is the video. It stands for video or virtual. So it's video random access memory. It's considered as separate RAM from your computer. Your computer has random access memory, the processor used to process whatever it's doing and communicate with the motherboard. The PCIe slot 4.0, 3.0, 5.0 that you use for your graphics card has onboard storage for your VRAM. It's inside the case. That's a revolutionary. It came from the video, AMD, whoever, made it very, very good to have. Because back in the day before that, you had to use your RAM to actually play games. Way back in the day. Now we have we have graphics cards that have people have more RAM graphics cards than they have RAM in their system sometimes. I had a friend of mine who had um, 24 gigabytes of VRAM 3090, but only had 16 gigabytes of actual RAM. So he had more RAM on his graphics card than he did in the system. Now he has 64 now, or whatever it was right now, a couple years later. I think he said 3090, but he upgraded to 64 or what it was. 64, I do believe. So that being said, though, he upgraded his stuff a while back ago and got 64 gigs of internal RAM on storage RAM. I need water here. And by doing so, now his RAM is good for his processor. VRAM is good for the graphics processing of your card. Sorry, guys. Damn sciences. Um, and what VRAM is onboard memory for your games. So you're playing Spider-Man 2, and I have Spider-Man 2 actually logged as one of the games here. Because Spider-Man 2 is a really, really, really demanding title that demands a lot of TLC. Demands a lot of VRAM anyway. The point being is that question I got was 8 gigabytes useful still in 2025. I say yes and no because yes, it is, and no, it's not. Okay, it is only to a certain degree. Okay, only to a certain degree that's useful, but not useful in the sense if you're gonna play games at 1440p. A lot of people won't play games 1440p. That is the new number, a new resolution if you want to play as. My screen is 34 by 40, 1440p. It's practically almost a 34-inch monitor, 165 hertz monitor, 1440p. I had 3070 for about 2.5 years. I came from a 1080p 75 hertz monitor to this behemoth right in front of me. That's a great monitor. My 1080p my 3070 was not going to utilize the monitor as my 5060 Ti 16 gig is using because of VRAM. 1080p is good if you're playing older games. If you're getting the PC gaming to play older games and you don't care much about whatever else, that's cool. But that narrative is slowly eroding because right now the minimum requirements are mostly going to be 8 gigabytes. You're rarely finding games that have 6 gigabytes minimum specs anymore, like they were a couple years ago. You had a 4 gigabyte, 6 gigabyte, 8 gigabyte of variants. You could go out there and play games at any resolution. And of course, you have to lower it down, the lower VRAM you had, they had to lower it down, lower it down. But that was just how it was. Now, games coming out now at 1080p gaming is coming out with games that require 8 gigabytes minimum. Hell, I have friends of mine who have 3080s, 10 gigabytes, who are now feeling the pinch. And they had 10 gigabytes for almost 4 or 5 years. They're laughing at everybody else who had 6 gigabytes now. They're the ones who are like Mark, I'm approaching the threshold where 10 gigabytes is going to be start becoming, the minimum. I think it already has in some games. Where 10 megabytes is the same as 8, it just has 2 extra gigs. No, a 3080 Ti has 12 gigabytes of VRAM. That's great, but it's also 2 generations old compared to right now. There's games coming out now, Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders, and many games coming out in Pike, requiring more and more VRAM, more and more VRAM It ain't much the graphics card power that's affecting it. It's the VRAM that's affecting your gaming experience. It's not about how fast you can fist through that information. If you have 8 GB, because my bust, my 3070, they have in a room in a box, put in a box, wrapped in plastic, put in a box, because I keep my things like that very safe. Has a bus of 256. This card I have right now has 128. The difference is my card is faster when it comes to bandwidth, but slower because of the VRAM constricts it and says, nope, can't go any higher than this. And you got to spill into the RAM, ran at maximum memory, onboard RAM in your computer to circumvent that issue. So it has to go there to the processor, process the RAM, activate the RAM, access the RAM, go back to the RAM, go processor, back to the graphics card to put it on screen. So your latency goes up. Lag goes in, screen tearing goes in. You have a lot of different reasons. You can lower it down all you want. Eventually, you're going to be playing games at low resolution. Eventually, you'll be playing games at no resolution because it ain't going to matter. Because when games become that sophisticated, guys, we're heading that way. AI is making some serious changes in gaming. Okay, 2077, Cyberpunk 27 showed that the Xbox One and PS4 were outdated even at that time. They're outdated. Even the Xbox One, the X series and the PS5 had issues. Now, granted, Cyberpunk was a hard game to run on any PC, but it's showing us gamers, us in the know, myself and these people who I have on my tag here, Gamers Nexus, Hardware Unboxing, Paul's Hardware, Jay's Two Cents, Iceberg Tech. All people I'm getting shout outs right now to who helped me, and get my career off the ground by giving me insight and private messages I messaged on their comments, and they gave me insight, different ones of them, insight about what to look for when going into PC gaming. Is that the memory bus is great. My graphics card does a 448 128 bust. The speed. It's fast, but like I said, it's a cauldron with 448 cauldron speed going through a drinking straw. It's there, or maybe a little bigger straw, maybe a little bigger. But you know what I'm saying? It's forcing the information through. That's where the VRAM comes into play. See, you can have a 128 gigabyte, memory bus and have better experience than a 3070 Ti and 3070. And I have literally watched videos. I've had a 3070 for almost 3 years. I cranked it up the highest and go, so much so that the screen was tearing and the card was literally causing the computer to reset because I kept overclocking it too much, where I had to really break it down a little bit. So I utilized that card as much as I could for 3.5 years. I had it. So I already throttled that son of a gun down to the floor, and to get every squeeze, every minuscule of power out of that thing to play, because I knew I needed to wait, because I knew cards are going to go up even more and more and more. And I'm happy I got the 5060 Ti 16 gig. And even people say, well, you should got a 37, 5070, 12 gig. Games like Indiana Jones are putting people who have 12 gigabyte 5070s on notice, because the game requires ray tracing. There's another two and two. Even at 1080p gaming, Indiana Jones requires ray tracing to play. So if you love, like Mark, I gotta get Indiana Jones. I gotta play that game. It's awesome. I really don't care. I love Indiana Jones in the 80s and 90s movies, but whatever, you go nuts. Minimum requirements of that game were like probably 6 or 8 gigabytes. Okay, and granted, the game was on the Xbox or whatever, Xbox title, Activision. 6 to 8 gigabytes of VRAM, or even 8. I don't even care if it said you need 10. The fact of the matter is, guys, VRAM gobbles up stuff, and when games like that require you to have ray tracing on, doesn't matter if you have 6 or 8 or 10 or 12, doesn't matter, or 16, it's going to chew up a lot of your VRAM. So you really have to understand the games you want to play and the resolution you're going to play. But even those two can be a minuscule situation when you're going with a game requiring out of the gate with no firmware updates, with no ways to block that situation, ray tracing being enabled regardless if you want to use it or not, because the company, the entity, whoever is saying we want that because Nvidia wants to sell some damn freaking graphics cards, and we're Microsoft. We need to sell some Xboxes, but we can't sell them, so we're going to help sell some Nvidia graphics cards, and hopefully we work with them later on with a great way to make our system better, next system better with their chip. And hopefully a partnership come up and millions and billions of dollars are raining out of the sky. Hypothetically, but it could that could have been a talks in a room somewhere, some room somewhere, some boardroom. Say, hey, we'll push this narrative of ray tracing, but Nvidia, you got to help us with our next Xbox. Yeah, sure, whatever. Go ahead and push the damn ray tracing. Nvidia could have said, and here we are. Don't know for sure it's true or not. But games requiring that ray tracing is kind of funny to me. That now they're requiring ray tracing to be active. That's only one game, 1 or 2 games. But 1 or 2 games require you to have 16 gigabytes of RAM. 1 or 2 games required you to upgrade your graphics card to a 4 or 6 gigabyte card. 1 or 2 games, 1 or 2 games, 1 or 2 games, 1 or 2 games. See what I'm saying? It always starts with 1 or 2 games. Before you know it, whole industry explodes like we are right now, and you have people out there running around trying to figure, okay, I have 8 gigabyte card, I can play in medium settings for how long? You guys gotta understand. There's a lot out there going on with this. A lot more than what meets the eye. Okay? A lot more than what meets the eye. And if people tell you with a straight face that you don't need any more than 8 gigabytes to play a game, you're truly out of your mind. You're truly out of your mind. Because personally, 8 gigabytes was fine 5 years ago. Now we have games out there that even in 1080p are chewing up some serious VRAM. It used to be the safe zone was run back to 1080p. That's your safe zone. You can hold off the evil VRAM monsters and play your game still. Now, the VRAM monsters are coming in over the fence. You're still in the 8 gigabyte, shelter. Guess what? You can't back up to 6 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes anymore. You're against the wall. 8 gigabyte people who are fighting against, who are dying on that hill. The VRAM zombies are coming over the fence, and you backed away to play games 1080p because say you're a budget gamer. Now you're stuck, and you got to fight off the VRAM zombie horde, at 1080p because you're fist in the air, dying on that hill. Dying on that hill with the belief that 8 gigabytes is going to help you with 1080p, where 1080p game you to have ray tracing on some games like Indiana Jones. See, it's not just a game. It's not just 1440p or 4K filling the fence, folks. It's everyone. So 8 gigabyte gaming should not exist anymore. Not one damn bit. And if you think you can get away with it, You are a damn fool. If you feel you can play a game with 8 gigabytes of VRAM and good and no and max settings, not low settings, not no max settings, by all means, you're Houdini. Your ass belongs in Vegas. But I guarantee you, and I'm ready to wager some serious money on this, that you will fail because your VRAM monster horde will just gobble all that VRAM up. So you have to play in lower settings just to play Indiana Jones or games like that. I saw 5060 Ti 16 gig play Indiana Jones at 4 times or 3 times, whatever, 2 times the no frame generation, 100 frames, milliseconds, probably around 10, 15 milliseconds. VRAM was at 14 gigabytes. 14 gigabytes. I say again, 14 gigabytes of VRAM was used at 4K. You could take it down 2K. Okay. Say you cut that to 12. Okay. Cut 1080p. Let's say it's 10 or 9. You're over your 8 gigabyte VRAM limit. Now you're spilling into your RAM now. Well, what I'm trying to say, guys, is this. All I'm trying to say is this here. All I'm trying to say is this. Is this right here. God, I'm gonna play Spider-Man 2 when I get done with this video. Cause I'm trying out my 16 gigabyte thing still. Um, what I'm saying is this: if you're gonna die in that hill, then die in that hill. But don't come running crying to the rest of us when the games you want to play you can't play because they require VRAM or more, or require ray tracing and VRAM limitations that you cannot meet, or expectations you cannot meet. Guys, graphic card guys are going up in price. I'm gonna do another check again because I believe helping you guys out a little bit here. I bought my card Newegg. Let's type Newegg here. Let's type Newegg here. I'm already saved down here anyway. Save the you can save some stuff here in DoorDash, whatever nonsense you got here. But you can buy a cord or whatever. Um, but just saying that you can buy a lot of stuff. I mean, you can Newegg and stuff though. But anyway, though, going on that graphics card, we'll type in some graphics cards here, and we'll type in, once again, 5060, 16 gigabytes. See how much it costs. The one I got is still 489, 429. Let's type in 5070, non TI, just 5070. 543. One is $700 here for some reason. That's TI version. That's 798, $800. Um, how about Amazon here? I like giving you guys much information about the can about this stuff. 5060, 479, 2 fan, 16 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte, 2 fan, 2 fan, 2 fan. 16 gigabyte, 2 fans. One here is 350, 8 gigabyte. What it's play. 9060 is okay, just not as fast as the 56 Ti, 16 gig. My point, guys, is this. This is my point to you guys. Okay, 8 gigabyte VRAM should not be played or not be used by anybody. I don't care if it's a 5060, if it's you know, a 9060, whatever. If you're going out there buying these cards, A, you don't know what you're buying, or B, you like tormenting yourself knowing that you can't play the games at max settings you want to play them on. And Nvidia does this for a reason. I know Nvidia does this because people out there are stupid. You get the grandparents out there, parents, uncles, aunts, whatever. They go out there and go buy. Oh wow, this 56 Ti 60 gig is $500. I'll buy them this cheaper one. It says exact same thing. It's smaller. Smaller must be better. I'll buy him this one, and they go home and give him an 8 GB card. And now he has a whole year of literally being miserable because yes, he got a good gift, but his aunt didn't know, his mom didn't know, dad didn't know because they're uneducated or unfamiliar with the environment of what they're buying for. That's why I buy my friends and family gift cards to to Amazon or things like nature because I don't know what they want for Christmas, and running around trying to find this stuff is difficult. So I would give a family member $100 gift card for example, into your store kind of gear, or whatever you shop at. If you're giving $100 gift card to whatever store, once again, it's straight your name there. You can go buy whatever you want. So if I got a card from Newegg or Amazon, for that matter, I'm like, oh, I need a graphics card. I'll buy the 5060 Ti 16 gig. I have $200-300 worth of gift cards. I have say $600-800 in my $600-800 in my account. I can make that work. Bing bam boom. I know what I want. That's what a content shopper would do. Buy their family gift cards, things like Amazon or Newegg or whatever they can, Micro Center or whatever. So, or even Best Buy. So you can buy whatever you want to buy. Not worry about having the hassle of going to the store, getting it, and trying to return it to the store, and hopefully get the card you want. See, the big thing about this is most places now require stocking fees, even some stores when it comes to graphics cards. Why? Because you got to repackage it and resell it. That's why. So I'm always telling people, if you're gonna buy a graphics card at a store, buy one that you really want. Because even some stores, the Best Buy here in Best Buy, will will throw out well, you got to pay a restocking fee for this thing. I've heard about it happening with TV and stuff like that. It's been quite a while ago, but it does happen. If you buy something you don't want it, bring it back to the store. They got to repackage it. They got to repack it, re-examine it, check it's not some you know you know check it's not some crappy silverware you gave them or some crappy TV you bought 10 years ago. You got the good one at home. You gave them the crappy one. They have to check this stuff, refurbish it, check it's good, and sell it sell it as a loss. Or open box, most cases, Micro Center does. And all because you didn't pay attention, the level didn't pay attention to the graphics card you wanted. So it's always good, and tips. If you're watching this out there and you have I have a kid or a brother who wants a graphics card, buy them a gift card to Best Buy, Micro Center, Amazon, whatever. $100, $200, whatever. Give them that option. Please give them that respect because you don't know what you're doing. You may not make cold feet because, oh my God, it's $500. There's women out there who buy purses for $1,000 easy and they don't blink an eye. I had a friend of mine, I have a friend of mine, and it's a side story here. She would buy a Gucci bag, go up to Nashville, and buy the most expensive bag she can get her hands on, $200-300 like that, without breaking a sweat. The moment she had to buy her son a game system, she freaked out, didn't know what to do because she was out of her element. I had to go with her and show her what to buy him. Oh my God, it's $500 something. You spent 800, it's almost $600 on a bag, a couple weeks ago. Where's all that worrying then? It's different when you buy something you want with your money. I get it. So, but in closing here, in about 2 or 3 minutes, 8 GB VRAM shouldn't be bought by no one. If you're a gamer person, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a new graphics card. What are you gonna get? 8 GB. Tell them hell to the no. chuck that chuck that card like a hand grenade. No, not really. Don't do that. And buy a 16 gigabyte variant or an ARC card that's 12. Hell, you could be better off buying an ARC card with 12 gigabytes of VRAM than you are buying an 8 gigabyte card of any card. At least the Intel cards have 12 gigabytes of VRAM. The more better one. I think it's B750 or whatever, 850, whatever it is. So I don't know much about ARC cards. But if you have an ARC card down below and it's 12 gigabytes, can you comment down below how you like it, so people might know about it. Because you buy that, yes, I said 12 is kind of becoming a new 8, but 12 is still relevant. 5070 is still relevant by much. The 8 gigabyte cards have no relevancy at all. The VRAM is too low. If it was 10, if they came out with 5060 10 gigabyte, like an 8 gigabyte card, 5060, then TIs had the 10s, then 16, or made them all three 10s. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, 10 gigabytes VRAM, whatever. It's something. But NVIDIA knows people are stupid. NVIDIA knows the Commonwealth person is dumb. Doesn't understand. It's not, if you're watching my channel, you are somewhat of a PC gamer or a gamer in general, or you like PC gaming, or you are in the PC gaming world. So you understand what I'm saying to you. Nvidia wants dumb people to buy their cards. They don't care about the intellectual PC gamer, or the ones like myself or you who are who are in the know. We're not enthusiasts. We don't run out there and go buy the latest and greatest and dance around in our underwear when we do so. No, we actually buy a card, we use it for a long time, then we get a better upgrade like I did, and have fun with it. But we're in the know of PC gaming. We like watching PC news. We like watching this stuff because incites us. It's our American pastime for us. When the sportos have the college football ball games, the Super Bowl, the basketball has the Final Four and championships. We have PC building as being our WrestleMania, our Super Bowl, our stuff when new cards come out. Or if you can go to CSGO, or it's called CSV, CS, what it's called, computer, expo. If you can go to that stuff, that's pretty cool to go to. I've heard. I've never been, but I've heard a lot of people, YouTubers, the ones I have mentioned, have gone to that stuff, and it's pretty cool because it's all nothing in the PC stuff. It's coming out next year or year now, or coming out this year or whatever. Most next year. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing is with the graphics cards today, 8 gigabytes today. Well, I appreciate 34, 31, 41. Appreciate it, guys. If you guys are brand new to the old stuff there, comment down below, and also subscribe channel, ring a bell when my video comes available. If you guys don't mind, I appreciate it a lot. I'm at 271 subscribers. I love y'all. Um, I believe with the content you read from Jay's 2 cents, the rest of them are authentic people. These people that I I don't know. I don't know them personally. I don't know Steve and Gamers Nexus or any other guys. Paul's Hardware. I don't know them first name basis. No, but I chatted with them on comments a couple times talking about the difference in VRAM and stuff, and I think we all come to the same conclusion that 8 gigabyte cards should not exist. They phased out 4 and phased out 6 gigabyte cards for a reason. 8 gigabytes should be phased out. I think 6000 series should come out with no less than 10 gigabytes per card. You might say, whoa, Mark, did you mention 10 gigabytes is new 8? Well, 10 gigabytes would be a good stopping gap between the 10 to the 16, or make them all 12. The point being, we need a new stop gap that's not 8. 10 or 12 or even 11 for crying out loud would be a good stopgap. The big good stopgap of what really happened. Well, upgrading from a 960 to a RTX 5060, is that good or should I save up more? Save up more for a 16 gigabyte variant. Newegg has one that I bought for $489. Next year, the prices may go up a little bit. I say this because if you can go to Best Buy or you got a Micro Center, if you got a Micro Center around you, God bless you if you do. If you don't, then Best Buy is, not poor man Micro Center, but it's close enough. Or you get 5070. But I would probably go with, pick it up when you can. Yeah, pick it when you can, obviously. I would say save up some more money. If you can get a 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte card, like the one I have, you're golden. Yes, the memory bus is 128. Ha ha, laughable. Who gives a damn? The fact is, you have 16 gigabytes and a memory bus of 128, but also gigabytes per second is actually 480 something, 86, 85, whatever it is. That is what, to me, is the cauldron, the straw. The straw being the 128, cauldron being the, you know, 480 plus, gigabytes. I get 23 teraflops. My 3070 was only 20 teraflops. I'm up by three, two and a half by three. Your 960 card is going to be pretty much extinct anyway, because NVIDIA has said no more updates for you practically after this year, driver updates. So time is now to upgrade to to the next, to a newer thing, and you can watch a lot of this stuff. Yeah, yeah. Well, I would probably go 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte. Um, oh, that's pretty good. Um, but I would go with no more than 16 gigabytes right now, because the 5060 Ti, 5070 Ti, 5080 all have 16 gigabytes. Granted, the memory bus is a lot bigger on the 5070 Ti, 5080 Ti. 5090s is out of the question because you need to, sell a kidney or take a mortgage to take out a loan to buy that thing. But I mean, if you're okay with a slow memory bus, you got a 960. Like I said, man, you got a 960. No, you're gonna gain a lot more than you think you are. Yeah, 12 plus. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, but you're gonna gain a lot more. Now you may notice some difference, but frame generation, I don't use it a lot myself. But I would go with 16 gigabytes. I wouldn't go with 5060 because it's garbage, or Ti non 16 gigabyte. 8 gigabyte cards are not going to help you because all you're doing is just stagnating yourself even more and more and more. You need to go up to 16 gigs. Yes, it's going to be expensive. Yes, you might have to update your power supply. You might have to do things like that. The wattage for the one I have is like 650 watts. I got a 750-watt power supply. I have plenty. You may not have that. You may have to upgrade your power supply. That's something that you need to do. These things you need to research on and really calculate how much money you're going to need and how you're going to update, because your main system, your motherboard will support it. Even if a PCIe 3. Power Unboxing did a PCIe 3, 4, and 5 comparison with a 5060 non XT, XT 8 gigabyte running on PCIe 4. A PCIe 5 had 8 gigabyte, and PCIe 3 had 16 gigabyte variant of 5060 Ti, 16 gig. The 16 gigabyte 5060 Ti kicked the dog shit out of all of those 5060s, even being on the weaker PCIe. 53. Um, I would probably sell your 3070 if you can sell it. But going back to the 960 question, yes, upgrade to 16 gigabyte. 22, I would sell it if you can sell it for $245 because Newegg wanted to give me 190 for mine. If you can sell it for $245, somebody wants to buy it, God bless you. Give them the money and run to the store. If you get enough money, if you need the next $245 to buy a 5070 Ti or 5070, sell that thing, sell it. Mm, 5090, 3090. I'll probably stay with 3090 if I were you. But yeah, if you have $245, you can get you can get it for $245. I would sell it. At least that way, you're going to be making, a lot of the money. You're making some headway with cash. And if you only get a 40, a 5070 non TI 12 gigabyte card, you're still in a better spot than you were with 3070. Um, we're upgrading from a 3090 to a 5070 Ti. If you want the if you want the frame generation, 4X, you want all that other stuff, maybe. But 3090 has 24 gigabytes of VRAM. 5070 Ti has 16. 5090 has 32. 5090 would be a better choice. But if you can sell your 3090 for like $1,500, $2,000, 5090, if you can sell it for that kind of money, go out and go buy 5090. But I doubt you're going to sell your 3090 for $2,000. You may get $700 out of it maximum now or minimum. You're making 1,000, 1,200 maximum, but I wouldn't even. I would probably go a 5080, but I would do comparisons. I would watch YouTube like I've been doing with my 5060 Ti, get to my 3070. Watch comparison videos, ask questions on other YouTube channels, get a better idea. Like I said, if you got a micro center in your guys' town, then you can get a lot better questions answered. But if you don't, YouTube is not bad to do that with a lot of like Hardware Unboxing, Paul's Hardware, Jay's 2 Cents, Gaming. If these guys will answer questions, they answered mine. Now, granted, not right away, but they'll answer them. Um, and also the community will answer too as well. So you get people that are helping too as well. Um, yeah, yes, yeah, your currency, yeah, 940. Yeah, I see how it is in different countries. For some reason, it's more expensive in different countries than it is in the United States. But then again, though, if you live in England, you might get one a little cheaper than living in the United States. It just depends where you're at in these days. Um, 3090, 90XTD, all fine, sharp. Should I upgrade to 5060? No. No, notice me. I know. Do not upgrade. Do not sell your 3090 to buy a 5060. It's not worth it. It's a downgrade for you because you'll be losing well over um, a lot of VRAM, and your memory bus is a lot greater. So I would keep 3090 if I were you. Um, yeah, that is sad though, man. I'm sorry about the 22 that those graphics cards are $700 to $900 each one of them. Now, have you tried a 9060 XT? Granted, 5060 Ti 16 gig beats the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte card, and not all the games, but few games, and a lot of games are actually even. So if you get a 5060, or if you get like a 9060 XT, 16 gig, that's still a lot better than what you currently may have. But it just depends on what you want to spend. Like I said, it's your guys' money. You guys do what you want with it. Well, new GPUs are good, but I would get off the 8 GB bandwagon. I would get on 16 gigs or more, or at least 12 or more. 50, 60, 16 gig is actually not right. No, I wouldn't call it budget, but it's a mid-range entry level card. We'll do that. Eh, 90X 3D would be really good with a 9070. Yes, and you get 64 gigabytes of DDR5. Now you must hold long to get that kind of DDR5. And then you must sell a longer leg because getting 64 gigabytes of DDR5 is literally like almost $1,000 right now. So God bless you if you got that. And no, I'm not calling you a liar because trust me, people spend $3,000 on a 5090. So anything's possible. So but CPU, uh, 7500. If you can spend money again 98 or even 7800 X3D, it'd be pretty good. But if you can't spend the money, you just gotta be careful. 7800 is still good. X3D. It's not as expensive as right yet. Then again, game prices go up, everything goes with it. No, don't upgrade from a 3090. Stay where you're at. Mm. Well, guys, this is my video. I do appreciate you guys watching my live stream. Thank you guys for your comments and questions. I'll catch you guys later. Um, I'll be back on the 23rd to do a 2025 review, good, bad, and ugly. But just how it is. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. God bless all you.